Right, one review this week after a mass of reviews last week. American Gods dropped on
I'm
Amazon.
looking forward to your description of this, Gary, especially one thing.
Good grief, here we go. Right. Ricky Whittle, who used to be in Hollyoaks.
Oh my God, go less Cockney for people.
Well,
It's
sorry.
Ricky Whittle.
Oh, please, be less northern.
Runner-up and Strictly Come Dancing 2009 as well.
Thank you very much. He basically is now an ex-convict who's been released early from prison because his wife, unfortunately, who he spoke to not the day before his release, unfortunately has been killed in a car accident. And he makes his way via various modes of transport to the funeral. Along the way, he meets the very mysterious Wednesday, played very well by Ian McShane. And Ian McShane seems to know a bit about him, but never really gives too much away. He seems to know that his wife has died, but does actually produce an obituary to prove that. And he kind of tries to convince the character to work for him. So he meets him first on first class. He manages to blag his way onto first class, and Ricky's character gets upgraded to first class by mistake. He manages to chat with him, and then he catches up with him in a bar. In the bar, he has a fight with an Irishman.
A leprechaun. Played by Pablo Schreiber from The Wire. He was Nick Sopotka in series 2.
Yes, he was the son of the nephew of the.
He was the son of the nephew.
That's it, the son of the nephew. What I'm not kind of explaining in this is how flipping weird this program is.
Are either of you Neil Gaiman sort of experienced of his work before? Have you seen Stardust or Coraline?
No, and I now don't know whether I will or not. I suppose I should say that this is written and produced by Bryan Singer, who's responsible for the movies.
No. Brian Fuller.
Oh, I do apologise. So that doesn't help.
Who's responsible for Pushing Daisies and Hannibal.
Did you get the sort of wider context of this?
Well, Gary said before about raising my hand. I didn't get past the epilogue of this. It's not for me. I'm sorry.
Did you get to Ricky Whittle?
I got to Ricky Whittle on the phone and going through the weird forest bit, but that was it for me.
Did you get to Ian McShane?
No, I didn't.
I think you should have really given this a go, Luke, because I'm very disappointed.
I have to say, I see where Luke is coming from. I think about 10 minutes in, I was thinking, what do I do with this? I pushed through, and I'm glad I did. And I would say the last 40 minutes, 30 minutes at least, just flew by. I was intrigued by what was going on. Can't say to you whether I enjoyed it, but I was engrossed in what was going on visually, audiory. Kind of the way it was done was really sucking me in as a viewer.
I'm surprised at Luke. I really am.
No, I'm really
upset. If Gary had done this,
perhaps I was in the wrong frame of mind. I pushed myself out of my comfort zone with Legion, and as it turned out,
I was going to say
that never really went anywhere.
You could draw comparisons to Legion with this. Part of the reason, I've read Neil Gaiman before. I've read Neverwhere, which they also turned into a TV series. He's very much of like otherworldly things. The Ian McShane character, you find out it later, is sort of the embodiment of Odin, and he's getting together all of the old gods, including. And Luke, I can't believe you missed this scene where Bill Murray's brother got sucked up into someone's vagina.
That was damn weird.
That was the scene that I thought
They did that in Last of the Summer Wine, and I didn't like it in that either.
She is one of the old gods, and then there being the scene you didn't mention is towards the end. Ricky Whittle attends his wife's funeral, and then gets sucked into this sort of vortex with this technical boy.
Yeah, he kind of looks at this little robot. And
it's like a VR. It's a VR helmet, isn't it?
I assume he's a new god then.
Yeah, there's like the American gods, because people now are worshipping technology and the media and things like that. So there's the embodiment of those things that people worship now, whereas people aren't worshipping the old gods as much. That's why in that scene she wanted him to worship her. And this is the kind of background that the show doesn't give you. I know,
The
yeah,
show
you have to
doesn't
sort of
explain
read
these things.
between the lines. There's a lot to do in this, but I really like this.
It was full of good imagery, and I do think I'll watch the second episode merely out of curiosity.
I'm really into that. Legion, I found a really hard slog because it sort of pushed you around. Here, I felt you knew where you were a lot more. You spent most of your time with Ricky Whittles.
Yeah.
You didn't say he was called Shadow Moon, was the name of the character.
Oh, sorry, yeah, well, you know.
The music I felt was a bit sort of bombastic in certain aspects, and
Okay.
I found this a really easy watch of the hour. I thought you got the intrigue. I thought by the end, you got to know the main character of Shadow Moon. You sort of got that Ian McShane's this sort of dodgy person, and then you're going to have all these characters sort of pop up. And I mean, I think it's a good mix with Brian Fuller and Neil Gaiman. I mean, this is more sort of fantasy than sci-fi. I think this is the stuff I like. You know, like as I say, I like Utopia and things like this.
Oh yeah,
this has a very distinct style. Again, the colours of the blood at the beginning. I just don't think, Luke, you gave this a good enough try.
You're probably right. I mean, you know there's a story there.
I think there is a plot there that you can follow, Luke, and I think you move away from the story, like, you know, the voiceover quite quickly.
What I was saying was,
I'd give it another go.
If you know Neil Gaiman, you know that he does this thing where he has a protagonist from this world who is often dragged into another world. In this case, it's Shadow Moon being dragged into the world of the old gods versus the new gods. And they've said already that this is only going to go up to the first third of the book. Apparently they're planning 3 seasons. And also, little fact for fact fans, Nicolas Cage apparently was the first choice for the Ian McShane role. I really can't see that.
No, me neither. Ian McShane is excellent because
he is so good.
He is the best actor.
I think he would have won you round, Luke, if you'd have got that far. His performance in it is very.
If you were a fan of Ian McShane in Deadwood, and if his brief appearance in Game of Thrones,
you said about the style, the production design on this is very, very stark. I mean, the bar, the crocodile teeth of the bar, the bit where
somehow I ended up watching the end credits. I'm not sure why. The amount of people working on the special effects was 3 or 4 pages long.
It was David Slade, who again he's a director of mainly horror things. He did 30 Days of Night, and I think he did one of the Twilights, and has worked on Hannibal, Breaking Bad.
Think horror fantasy is definitely the genre that I would put this.
More fantasy. I wouldn't say horror.
I think there's a definite horror. Well, okay. I think there's a definite horror feeling.
They've been working on this for years, this American Gods, trying to get it off the ground. I think originally HBO had the rights, and then it went to Starz, and so...
We made a joke about, what's his name, Ricky Whittle. What did you make of his performance?
He's good in it. I read a review of it, and I was reading this underneath about how the character is portrayed in the book, and apparently in the book he's sort of very much in the background. You sort of have to make your own mind up about it. So people are oohing and ahhing about Ricky, but I thought he was good. I mean, he's basically the thinking muscle. That's the...
I think that's the thing.
Muscle with brains, isn't it?
I think I could tell very early on, as you say, his character was quite gruff and low level, so he wasn't supposed to be overacting the part.
You sort of get his emotions. He's a man of few words, and you sort of get that he's our proxy throughout the show. He's reacting to all this weird stuff that's happening, and I did enjoy him. He's
not
doing
as bad
what
as
he
Dominic
needs to
Purcell.
do. He's doing what he needs to do, and he's doing it well.